what it's worth in that, but I'd like to see more communication from the city and and definitely just more stern, more stern all around. We have the bin, we're providing this for you. If you need help, get it down there, let me know.
So we need to make a motion on that, as far as like if we're gonna transfer and go ahead and do the next 2 months before October.
Well, I don't know if we need to find out if it's just a line item thing, then we transfer it out of that fund.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Do that.
What if we just do it and then,
Ask for forgiveness later?
yeah. Well, I mean, as far as like, we motion to do it, and then.
Just authorize the expense, and then you figure out how you're going to, how the check's going
It's
to be
in
cut.
little brackets.
It's
just like-
Well, I'm gonna make a
You aren't
motion.
paying the bill yet.
Yeah.
I'll
You're
make a
just
motion.
authorizing the expense of the money, because you have it.
Why bother?
And then you have to make sure the accounting part is done correctly.
Take it out of one.
And take it out of the safety budget.
Maybe they'll just wait and bill us 2 months at a time until October.
Wait till it's.
So the key word is authorize the expense.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to authorize the expense for the
Yard waste.
yard waste bin for the next 2 months,
I'll
until the
second.
beginning of the new fiscal year. Nicholas.
All in favor?
Thank you, guys.
All right, Justin, it's your turn.
I don't have anything left to say. I'm sorry.
Your new job as a clerk.
Yeah, we got permission from the state for our signs here a week ago.
That's awesome. You're speaking out of turn.
No, he asked it.
No.
So that's it.
I only have one thing, I think it's really kind of important, someone really needs to just kind of understand this. So, the City of Juliaetta page, it says right on the Facebook page that it's a government entity, it's a government page. Congress passed in 2015, I don't have the verbiage, but I can get it to you if you need, if you don't want to Google it yourself. In 2015, Congress passed that no one can inhibit someone's freedom of speech on a city's Facebook page. And there's been a couple of people whose comments and posts got removed. And I just think that the clerk that we end up hiring needs to know that be careful not to do that.
So you don't want comments removed, but you've made a comment yourself that said that you want comments shut off.
No, that was actually a private conversation with Justin that I had in City Hall, saying it was a suggestion to avoid drama on a city Facebook page, to have it like other towns where there are no comments, because it's for information. It's for
Right, but the citizens have a
information.
right to comment on yard waste bins, we're going to have this. If they want
Sure.
clarification,
Yeah,
they should have
absolutely.
every right to say something on there.
Right, to ask questions and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
actually,
City
legally,
The
can't-
joke that goes on there is terrible.
I don't disagree, but legally, they could be different.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just playing devil's
I
advocate,
never
so
ever
Trump
read
got
it.
sued for deleting
Any of
Twitter
that.
comments.
Right.
And he got,
Well, I don't think comments should be deleted, but I don't think they should be blocked.
okay, and that's a different subject, but I'm saying, I don't
I'm
think
talking
he
about
said.
removing comments.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
comments should be deleted.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, there's been a couple things of that.
But I think
Yeah,
if people are
I
gonna
know.
put things on there, it needs to be honest and
Most all
truthful,
of
not
it
just
is
because they feel like they wanna.
But that's what
What's
freedom
wrong
of
with that?
speech, buddy,
Right.
that's the freedom of speech.
As
so-
far as like posting pictures that aren't appropriate, that's not right.
Right.
Yeah, that's not.
Did you have anything else, Judy?
No, just that, we need to be careful on that particular group.
So,
On
my-
other social groups, it's different, an admin can just delete all day long and remove stuff, but not on a city page is all I'm saying.
My question is for you, Todd. Quorums. Explain to me what a quorum is.
50% plus one.
Okay, is
Right.
that in emails, messenger, text messages, standing in the public? Explain that to me.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
One of the risky things, and Idaho and Washington handle this a little bit differently. Washington has taken a position of what they call a daisy chain meeting, and have really worried about that. And that is, if Wendy emails Judy and Judy emails Nick, we now have a quorum in violation of the Open Meeting Act. Idaho's not gone that far, but I wouldn't be tremendously surprised if we start to see some more movement that way, because the idea is that any discussion amongst the council needs to be held in public. And if you start doing it through emails or phone calls, that is a violation of the Open Public Meeting Act. Again, Idaho hasn't gone that far, but you have to be very careful about when you, I mean, three of you go to lunch, you're now violating the Open Public Meetings.
Right.
And so we have to watch that and be careful. Social media is tough, emails are tough, but that's why when an email goes out from me to all of you, and I don't do that very often, but if I do, you don't reply all, you reply to me only, and then I can respond to people.
Well, the reason I'm asking is, a while back, we had a Facebook Messenger page that was created by Wendy, and it had the four of us on there.
Yeah.
And she would send out information saying, hey, don't forget, we have a meeting tonight at 6, budget meeting's at 6, and that was it, nobody would reply. Well, at one point then, you know, Judy brought it up that she didn't want to be on it because of the quorum thing, and so that was fine. Well, now emails are being sent, and I haven't replied to any of the emails because I don't want to be caught in that quorum, you know, situation. So I wanted to publicly ask what the situation is so it can be stopped or
Emails through the
continued forward.
city iPad, you mean, or city using our
I can
member?
tell you-
Anything that includes all of us in it is still an open forum.
My position is if the clerk is sending out a meeting reminder to everybody at once, that's probably fine. As soon as one of you starts to reply, we get a problem.
Right.
And so you just take it really simple, and it's a one-way communication, and a lot of that's open to public records requests if they want to. And fortunately, Idaho is, again, more restrictive on what can be
So I guess
obtained, but
my biggest concern is Judy did send out a couple emails to all of us, and I feel bad for not responding to any of them because I don't want to be caught in that, and I want to verify that we're not going to get in trouble with either if I were to send an open group one or any of us were to do that. I don't want to get anybody in trouble in having that quorum.
I would advise against it.
Okay.
If there has to be a reminder, or when the agenda is sent out, that goes to everybody. But as soon as you start replying and you're discussing any topic, we're now moving into
Yeah, these
having
emails
discussions
were
outside of
questions,
open
the
meetings.
things I didn't understand, they're just like questions.
Right, and that's why I'm asking, because I
Yeah.
don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah.
I think it's
Right,
great.
because if we
Communication.
answer a question, then isn't that considered?
It's
Right.
deliberation.
And that's-
Attorney
that's-
General
right.
uses the word deliberation.
And so,
That's part
if
of
you
the
have a
meeting,
question,
you can't.
you ask the clerk, or ask me, or you can ask the
Bring it to the
mayor.
meeting,
But it's, what's that?
or bring it to the meeting.
Yes, bring it to the meeting. That's, I mean, that's ideal, but I mean, if it's a question of, hey, procedurally, how do we do? Great, you don't have to bring that at a meeting. If
Right.
you wanna have that information so you can use it at the meeting, that's fine.
Right.
You can get it, and there are resources. Justin can answer a question to you, the mayor can, I can, the clerk can, the treasurer can. But if you, as soon as you're sending it out to the deliberative body, which is the council, we start to cross the lines.
Jennifer even told us, you know, be careful about having dinner, about doing this and that, and, you know, especially discussing things when people come up to you and ask you things on the street.
Well, she was talking about like the general
Yeah,
public,
but
don't
she's-
talk about city
Well,
stuff.
I think she was also talking about us too, like,
Yeah.
as far as anything that could be construed as deliberation of any kind.
Right.
Well, like if we were all hanging out at the Blackberry Festival, some citizen could say we were deliberating.
Yes.
So it's all in the eye of the beholder from a citizen's standpoint. I would
If
say.
Jennifer was telling you don't talk with the general public about affair, that I think is a bad advice, because you have to be
I know.
available to the public to be able to
I don't
discuss
think
it.
that's
In all
what she was
fairness to
meaning.
her, she was saying, be careful to the extent that you talk about city business.
Now, I will tell you this, my position, and I find I'm different than a lot of city attorneys on this, if there is a public hearing coming up, let's say somebody's filed for a conditional use permit, and there's gonna be a public hearing, my position is the clerk and Justin and even the mayor, and I can have all the discussions, you guys are kept in the dark. The only information you get is at the public hearing, because the only place you were supposed to be receiving evidence to make your decision is at that hearing. And so
Right.
then if a member of the public comes up and says, hey, I want to talk to you about this, you say, bring it up at the meeting, I can't talk to you. And you just shut it off cold. Now that does a couple of things. One is it shows everybody that you are honoring the system and that you are going to get your information at that meeting. Now, there is a way that you can come and say, hey, I was approached by Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they told me this. But I don't like it. I think you've walked into a gray area, and somebody says, oh, you misrepresented that, I was there, that kind, you know, and then you've got yourself a fight. But as long as you just said, sorry, can't talk to you, come to the hearing and tell me Now you're being able to get the information at the right time, at the right spot to make your decision. So, you know, if the public wants to come talk to you about the yard waste dumpster, great. You know, they get to talk to you about that. And that's something you have to be responsive to them, or how can you represent them?
Right.
Sure.
You know, so but if it's going to be a public hearing, that's a different piece.
Yeah, and I don't wanna misrepresent what Jennifer was saying. She was saying, especially and there was a particular case.
Particular subjects,
Yeah.
Right.
right,
No, then I'd probably be in agreement with her on that stuff.
right,
I
yeah.
think you
yeah.
would be.
There are certain things you just, yeah.
Okay,
gotcha.
well, thank you for clarifying that, I
Sure.
just want to clear that.
Yeah.
My other thing that I would like to say before I move on is, we did just have a major fire. We've had the one in Kendrick, we've had lots of things happen in Julietta, and publicly to the community, I would like to say thank you for everybody for all their help. Firefighters, farmers, people from Wisconsin, all over. I was out there a lot, and I met a lot of amazing people, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to kind of piggyback on that and thank Clifford and Justin and Joe and the whole fire department for everything they did. You know, Justin kept the town going while the firemen were out fighting, and Joe, I don't know how, well, I know how Joe does it, where he doesn't sleep.
He doesn't
but
sleep.
fighting fire and working, but I appreciate everything that you guys did.
And our sheriff's department, I mean, they came to Manor 3 different times, 3 different deputies, I thought that was amazing. So,
Yep.
going door to door.
Do you have anything, Mark?
Just same thing, you know, I appreciate everyone saving my home and
Yeah.
saving my daughter's home. And also, I wanna thank the council tonight for going forward with the firemen. I think that goes with this. I think we need to be more fire conscious. I mean, it's crazy, I commute to Lewiston, and the whole place is burned, like the
It's
whole,
sad, yeah.
and it's like, we live in that world
It's
now.
like a scene of a movie.
I love everything.
So we live in that world now, so I think we need to be forward thinking when you're on any sort of council or any kind of government entity that you actually can, so anyway, that's all I have.
Okay. I'm
A
gonna
lot of it lost their homes and a lot of them down the road and
Yeah, it's not
lost
over.
everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost the whole ranch.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Are you done, Clifford? Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
I already did.
Oh, I second that.
All in favor?
Yeah, he did.
Pass.